Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it's a great privilege for me to be present on today's conference and participate in Healthcare Supply Forum. I like to express my gratitude for Research Center for Biotechnology and Medicine Policy, who made this event possible and invited our organization to join it. I would like to share with you today the presentation on the market of Polish medical equipment and devices. Let me share my presentation with you. Here it is. So, my today presentation will focus on both the issues of the Poland domestic market for medical devices as well as the export of Polish companies. First, I'd like to share with you the information about Polish economy and Poland. I know that you are very well aware about where the Poland is, and you probably know quite a lot about our countries. I'd just like to draw your attention and a couple of basic facts. First, that our country is well centrally placed within Europe, and we are a member of the European Union since the year 2004. We have a very well diversified structure or the Polish export. Our country benefits from the availability of the low-cost but skilled labor force. We are also benefiting from a favorable exchange rate between Polish zloty and the euro. In today's presentation, I will share with you the figures both in euro and Polish zloty. We also have benefited for many years with the influx of foreign direct investment, and today the foreign multinational companies play a very important role within our economy. We are perceived as a hub for Europe for business processing, IT and R&D service center. Poland is also a very important center for logistics services, as you can see from the slide, from the map. We are well located between north and south and east and west of Europe. We are also a very close neighbor to Germany, which is a largest European economy and a powerhouse of European Union. Of course, our economy faces also a number of challenges. I will mention later on COVID pandemics, but our challenges up to now are also relatively specialization on low and medium tech export rather than a high tech export like in the case of Taiwan. We also see the number of SMEs which participate in export is not at the level we like to see. As for the moment, more than half of our export is generated by foreign-owned large companies. Of course, that is good, but also from the point of view of the agency which I do represent, it is also very important to increase the share, increase the number of companies which benefit from exports. Our economy is fairly internationalized. Our exports amounts to more than 50% of our GDP, 55.6% to be exact, from which 44.5% are products and 11.1% are services. Our export value in 2020 amounted at euro billion 290. And our import to euro billion 254, which means that we have benefited from the surplus in export. Of course, the COVID-19 pandemic has negatively impacted our economy. However, this impact was relatively mild for the moment. We have seen a decrease of 1.9% in exports in the year 2020, but we have also seen this export rebound in 2020 now. As for the moment, we believe that we are going to benefit the increase in export for the year 2021 as compared to 2020, but also as compared to the year 2019, which was the last normal year in our economy. Our main Polish partners abroad are Germany, Czech Republic, which is our neighbor country, Great Britain, France, and Italy. As you can see from this list, these are all fairly well-developed economies. top exporters and top producers in Europe. As far as the import are concerned, our main partners are also Germany. We are processing or supplying components to many products from Germany. These are also imported to Poland and then re-exported after processing. Our second import destinations are China, Italy, Russia, and France. Poland export covers mainly machinery, medical and electrical devices, and the parts, vehicles, planes, ships, common metals, food products, and chemical products. As you can see from this list, which is not exhaustive, of course, the exports are very diversified. Our exports are not based on raw materials. As far as the share of export in services are concerned, that amounts at approximately 13.9%. And in 2020, export of goods and services accounted for 55.6% of Polish GDP, as compared to 1985. There was an increase of 32.7%, and that is quite an important factor as Polish economy grows and the Polish export grows year by year. Our agency is very much involved in that process. We are a multi-purpose governmental agency which was established in the year 2000. The agency's main goal is to support entrepreneurship and innovation of Polish economy. We also support regional development, export growth, development of human resources, and our main focus are SMEs, small and medium-sized entrepreneurs, but also startups and clusters, which are important gatherings of innovative companies in Poland. We provide these companies with financial support. As you can see from this slide, our support amounted at more than 45 billion Polish zlotych, and we have been supporting more than 25,000 companies. These numbers, of course, grow year after year as we are appointed by the government to implement more and more programs, which also includes programs which aim was to support companies in this difficult time of the COVID pandemics. Our main financing resources are state budget, EU structural funds, but also multinational programs of the European Commission, Norwegian mechanism, and so on. We do provide our exporters with both financial and non-financial support. I would like to draw your attention only at these which are related to the topic of this program. We do provide support for Polish exporters, which creates Polish product brands. This is done within the Go-To Brand program. We also like to increase the base, the number of companies which export abroad. This is done through the program called Internationalization of SMEs. We do also support key national cluster, helping them to establish international collaboration, and these are probably also good partners for the participants or to the company. We also support the protection of IP protection on overseas markets, and we do also provide grants for companies willing to be part of European-wide programs aimed at development of new products and research activities. As far as the non-financial support is concerned, we provide companies with training, advisory. We help them to promote during international exhibition and fairs. That includes also some events in Taiwan. And one of the focus markets for us is the medical devices sector, in which we like to promote overseas. But we also do support IT/ICT sector, and I mentioned that because many of our beneficiaries, many of companies which identify themselves rather with IT/ICT company, are also participating in the development of medical devices, in particular in telemedicine. I like to move now to our main topic of the presentation and present you the medical devices and equipment market in Poland. As you can see from this slide, the perspective for the development of the global medical devices market are good, and the experts foreseen the growth, which will attain the level of more than 612 US dollar billion in the year 2025. That in particular concerns the development of telemedicine, which I have already mentioned. As you can see from this slide, the experts foreseen the value of this market grow up to 175 US dollar billion, which is a huge amount, and many of Polish companies are well aware of these figures and are developing the products and services with the aim of participating in this international growth. As far as the Polish market is concerned, as you can see from this slide, the value of domestic market for medical devices and equipment amounts at approximately 2.5 billion euro, and 15% of this market is covered by Polish manufacturer, which are also exporting for the value of 2.42 billion euros. We calculate approximately 300 producers of equipment, of manufacturers of equipment which specialize in medical and devices, of which 60% and 60% of the revenues are from export. And this is also very important, as Polish producers, Polish companies are from the very beginning targeting overseas market. However, the market in Poland is also a very important one. As you can see from these figures, our healthcare expenditure amounted at 4.7 GDP. That is expected to grow up to 6% in the coming years, and that amounts at approximately euro 20 billion. And 30.5 billion are expenditures of the private sector, which is also a very important growing sector within Polish medical landscape. We have more than 800 hospitals in Poland and 220,000 beds, which equals to 6 beds per 1,000 patients, which is a fairly large number. That, of course, was a good development for the times of pandemics, which has affected quite and still affects quite importantly our economy and healthcare sector. As you can see from these slides, the value of the domestic market for medical devices is growing year after year. We don't have much figures for 2020, and the last normal year, I would say, was 2019, and it also we have seen also the increase of the value of the market for this time. Then, of course, the pandemic strikes, and that had a multiple different influence on the market, because at the very beginning many standard procedures were suspended. The hospital focused on the treatment of COVID patients, and that of course has affected also the value of the domestic value of medical devices. As far as the export is concerned, that market is growing year after year. As you can see, it has almost more than doubled from 2018 to 2019. We see the increase also in the year 2020. As you can see from this slide, the share of medical devices also grows in the overall export of Poland. That's very important, because in that time, which is covered by this graph, export of Poland has grown exponentially. So not only the value of export of medical devices has grown accordingly to this growth, but also the producers of medical equipment and devices has increased their share in export up to 1.03%. From this export, 33% are directed towards the EU markets, which are the main markets. But what is worth to be mentioned is that 47% of these exports are also directed towards the markets outside the EU, which is a fairly impressive figure, because as you usually see at the statistics of Polish export, you can see that most of the Polish export is directed to the EU markets, and here you can see that outside the EU markets are also of a growing importance. And You can see from this slide, the US market is the most important in the export, which is followed by Germany. Normally, Germany accounts for the largest share of our exports. Then it's Denmark, France, UK, Canada. It is worth to be mentioned that these are the most developed markets, the most demanding, this which has the most important that has the most important part of the standards are very high level. So that is important to be mentioned, because that shows that our market is our producers products and services fits very well to these demanding standards. And what kind of products are shipped overseas? As you can see from this side, the main share of our export are rehabilitation orthopedic equipment, including prostheses, medical and veterinary instrument, hospital furniture, equipment for operating theaters and intensive care units, diagnostic devices such as ultrasound scanners, X-ray equipment, disabled equipment. But the important share of this exports are also telemedicine devices and related services. As you can see from this slide, this orthopedic equipment has the largest share in export, and it is worth also to be mentioned that in some subsectors of these products, Poland is a leading world exporter, such in hearing aids, in which we are one of the top exporters in the world. And what are the advantages and what are the of Polish equipment and devices? First is the high production quality. I have already mentioned about it. These products do not only fit the highest legal standards of the EU and the US markets, but also have a good quality, which compares to the most important world producers, which also coincides with the low failure rate, low operating and service cost, high durability, but also very important is the flexibility in customer relations. Polish exports of medical devices is mostly done by medium-sized and companies, which are able to adjust their product, but also to adjust their contract conditions to the demands of the overseas clients, which is not always the case in large companies. And of course, these products are mostly compatible with equipment made by other manufacturers, and that also the quality to price ratio is of an importance. Thank you so much for this opportunity to participate. If you have any questions, feel free to send on the email which is mentioned on this slide. We'll be happy as an agency to connect you as Taiwanese entrepreneurs with our companies in Poland. You will have an opportunity to see a sample of such companies participating in today's conference. I look forward to hear from you and all to cooperate with you in the future. I wish all the participants of the conference not only a successful event, but also a good health, which is of importance in today's pandemic world. Thank you so much.